Hello, and welcome to Abnormal Mapping, episode 71. I'm your host, M. With me is regular co-host, Jackson Tyler.
Hello, this is the 71st episode of this podcast.
Yep, it is our middle of December episode because it's Game of the Year time.
Game of the Year. You know, I love to play Game of the Year.
We're recording that tomorrow, to be fair.
Yes, we are.
Yep. So we're here to actually do game clubs because I was like, what if, in addition to doing Game of the Year, we also just did 3 video games this month?
And I was like, fuck you, I'm at school, I've got stuff to do. And
Jackson, you've barely been in school for the last 3 weeks.
Look, it's still my final year. It's not my fault they decided to put everything next term.
Mm-hmm. But, no, you totally were like, yeah, let's do this.
Yes, because I wanted to play Thumper.
Yeah. What have you been up to? How's video games?
Video games are fine. I've been playing...
What are you playing?
I'm playing Vostok Inc. Because
what is that?
That is a twin-stick shooter, or I guess two-joystick shooter. I don't know how people call them. But anyway, it's a fake Geometry Wars. And it's also a clicker, which is cool because every video game is a clicker. In terms of...
So how is it a clicker? Like, I actually have not asked you how this works yet. And...
Well, you shoot things, and as you shoot things, you get money from shooting them, and then as you get that money, you can buy upgrades for your ship. And you can buy things in the world which will produce money for you. So it's a clicker in the same way Assassin's Creed 2 is a clicker.
Oh, okay. So it's not actually a clicker. I thought there was like an actual clicker element to it.
No, it's just very, very naked about how, like, there are different stations with different, like, you know, things that will produce this much money a minute, and then there's another, like,
okay.
The upgrade trees are, like, ripped from clickers in a way that is very honest.
Okay.
But
in my brain, I was picturing, like, you had to, like, press a button regularly to, like, make the clicker number go up while you're shooting things.
No, it's instead of clicking, the main make the number go up is shooting things in a spaceship, like fighting enemies or mining asteroids. But when you land on a planet, it will like bring up a menu like, do you want to build a farm? Do you want to build a mine? When you have 10 mines, you can upgrade for this thing that will like double the efficiency of all your mines. So it's like got all that stuff straight from clickers, but. It's nice. I like it. It's very honest about that because the part where all video games just have that, but without kind of playing into it, having one that does is cool. It's not like the greatest game on earth, but it's a fun distraction. I'm having a good time. It tries to be funny. That's a problem. It's not funny.
Lots of indie games try to be funny. It's always a disaster.
At some point, I was told to do a barrel roll.
Oh, did you?
Well, no, the next line was, oh no, you can't. It's 2D.
I was going to say, what does a barrel roll look like in 2D? But I guess the game answered that by saying it doesn't.
Yes, it doesn't.
You could totally do barrel rolls in 2D, though. That'd be cool.
Not in this game.
Well, sure. Maybe not in that game, but like that'd be cool to have. It would basically end up being like a iframe dodge, and that'd be cool.
Yeah, man. I should go play some like cool, not clicker-infused shooters. Play Ikaruga.
Yeah, you could get one of those cave shooters on your phone or something.
I could. I've played some good phone shooters. They're pretty good. I enjoy them. Yep. Not on my phone right now, but yes, one day.
Yeah. What are the games that you know I've been playing that you'd like me to talk about, Jackson? You know what I play.
That's not fair. You can't make me answer for both of us. Like, you've been playing Sonic. We're not talking about Sonic again.
No, we shouldn't talk about Sonic again.
You've been playing other stuff. You played Turok.
I want to talk about SOMA. SOMA's really good. I'm going to do this non-spoiler. I know, like, SOMA's like a narrative game, so if you talk too much about it, you'll give away the cool stuff. So SOMA is a horror game by Frictional, who made Amnesia. Everyone's favorite. Someone on YouTube yells into a camera as they play the game. And they released a safe mode on PC that's coming to consoles later. I didn't actually know that was delayed or whatever, but it's coming to consoles at some point. And it basically makes the monsters non-hostile. And Soma is like a sci-fi horror game where you're on a underwater station and you wake up, like you start in like 2015 and you are doing like this brain scan. You wake up and suddenly it's like 2105. And everything has gone to shit, and you're in this underwater station, and there's just horrible monster robots around that don't know they're monster robots. and you explore the station and try to figure out what happened and how to deal with it. And because the safe mode turns off the hostility, like the hostile monsters, they still exist, and the game specifically says safe mode, the monsters are so creepy, but they won't hurt you, which is kind of true. They won't attack you, though if you bump into them, you will take damage, so don't bump into the monsters. But it does allow you to like kind of wander around and just explore, and there's a creepy thing sometimes, but you can like stop and look at it, which is the best way to make a monster not creepy, is just look at it and be like, man, that's a cool model. And actually, if you like step towards it, it'll take a step back in safe mode, so you just can confront the monsters. It's very nice. But that game's like space station, plugging in power packs and flipping switches and like plugging tubes into machines to turn them on. Like that very tactile sensation of navigating a space is really, really good in that game. And the storytelling is great. In a game like I played Tacoma this year, and those games are weirdly similar. In the ways in which it's like, oh, explore the space to understand the story of these people who lived here and underwent this like cataclysmic event and tried to deal with it. But I ended up liking Soma a lot. Like, I think Soma's storytelling is really good. I think its characters are really good. And its story is like such a sad, like beautiful thing. It's a really good game. And I thought Amnesia was kind of bad. So like high praise. I was very surprised.
That's good.
Even if you're afraid of horror stuff, you could probably play Soma. That's my take. There's not really jump scares. There's the monsters, but you know they're coming, and you know they won't hurt you. So that helps a lot.
Yep, I've like watched the ending on YouTube and stuff, and now I feel sad because I thought I can't ever play this game because it's a big, scary Amnesia game.
I still think you should play it. I think you would appreciate the aesthetic a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were... This week, we... watched 2 events where we sat through the entirety of that 9-minute Death Stranding trailer, and both times you went, I really like Soma.
Yeah. Soma's a good game.
Soma's a good game.
So we have some announcements. Not really announcements. We just have some things to talk about before we get into the video games. We have a Discord server.
We do.
Jackson, you made a Discord server.
I decided to make a Discord server, and then I like told you, hey, we have a Discord server now. And you were like, I guess that's okay.
Yeah, no, because we had talked about this ages ago, and I was like, no, I don't really like Discord, and I don't know, I don't want to do this. And then I wake up one day, and we had it, like, that was months ago, to be fair. You didn't just, like, do it despite me saying no. And then we had one. And you told me, you're like, you don't have to look at it, you don't have to deal with it. And I was like, okay. And now I just look at it all day, because it's better than Twitter.
Yes, it's much better to look at than Twitter. It has been reasonably active, but not so active that it's one of those, like, I've gone to the Waypoint Discord before, and the people are fine, and it's cool, but it's so many people, and every channel is always active because there's so many people all the time. I feel like I know most people on the Discord. I say hello to them. It is a good size for what I would like want a Discord to be. So I'm very, very happy with where it's at. If you want to join it, the link will be on my Twitter feed. You can't just like... We should maybe put that link on the website, maybe? Maybe we'll put the link on the website. We might put it at the top of the Abnormal Mapping Twitter.
Yeah.
I mean, I can read what the permanent link is.
I mean, that's not going to help anybody on this podcast.
But, well, you know, it's discord.gg/little e, big E, little e, 28QJ. QJ, both in capitals. So, you know...
I told you, this is not going to help anybody.
Look, you should just be able to type in abnormal mapping from a list because it's a public server, but no, Discord's made by tech people, so it doesn't have things like font scaling in the UI version, and if you want to have a spoiler bot, you have to, like, host an SQL server or some shit. Discord has limitations, but it is fun to hang out in server.
Yeah, if you just want to talk to fellow cool people, most of us are queer, and it's nice. It is a safe space. We will moderate heavily if people are jerks. All of the Abnormal Mapping hosts are mods, so, you know, if you want to talk to, like, Jen or Ryan or something, they'll be in there.
Last night, we were watching that Sony thing that was playing, and the entire time, several people were typing.
Yeah.
It was a big thing. If you don't somehow know about the PSX thing where it wasn't a big event in terms of anything being announced or happening because it doesn't matter, but it was a big event in terms of a bunch of audience members yelling execute at a man playing Detroit. So, it's incredibly video games. I'm sure
they saved that fish. They saved the fish.
They saved that fish. I'm sure people will talk about that on many other podcasts. But it was a good time to hang out and watch that.
So, two other just housekeeping things. We hit our $350 Patreon goal, which means that starting next month, a movie podcast will appear. So please look forward to that. Don't have any more details. I want to nail down like things and actually get that recorded before I talk about anything. Yes, but it is coming. We
do have other ideas. We know what it is. We're just not saying yet. But it is a specific thing.
Like, I have a name. I know who's going to be on it with me. We know what movies we're watching. But I want to actually get it recorded before I commit to anything publicly. So
yes.
And Novel Not New still exists. I resubmitted to iTunes because iTunes apparently just didn't notice that I submitted the first time. I don't know. So hopefully that'll actually be on iTunes soon. You can go to abnormalmapping.com/novelnotnew. We are recording our next episode of that later today. It won't be up by the time this podcast goes up, but look for it next week, probably, about Narcissu.
Yes.
So I think that's all that we have for housekeeping. Of course, you can support us at patreon.com/abnormalmapping, assuming Patreon still exists by the time this episode goes up.
Yes.
If it doesn't, this is the last podcast. I don't know what to tell you. But until then, we will continue as always. Thanks, everybody. We'll get into games now. And yeah, that's it. That's all the housekeeping. So please enjoy a musical interlude, and we'll be back to talk about video games. Vidya.
No, I'm editing that. Who's editing this? Shit.
It's you.
Oh, thank Christ.
Vidya.
No!
Vidya. Now you have to leave it in, because it's funny. First game this month is Rez, or Rez HD, or Rez Infinite. I don't actually care. Play Rez. Rez is good. Rez is a musical rail shooter developed by United Game Artists, published by Sega. This originally came out on the Dreamcast and PlayStation 2. Rez HD is an Xbox 360 game. Came out in 2008. Rez Infinite is a PlayStation VR, PlayStation Network, and PC game. The PlayStation's version came out last year. The Windows version came out this year. This is a game directed by Jun Kobayashi, produced by Tetsuya Mizuguchi. It is inspired by the work of Russian painter Wasily Kandinsky. It is about synesthesia, which is this mental, not even disorder, just a mental quirk that some people have where they hear, like, their sense input gets mixed up. So you'll, like, see a color and, like, hear a sound or taste a flavor, or you look at numbers and numbers have colors. It's not like debilitating or anything, it's just a thing some people have. And all of Mizuguchi's games are about trying to, like, make that into a game where you can feel a different sense through doing something. And so Rez is a game in which you're flying through a cyber womb and you're just a wireframe character and you're shooting things by locking onto them, and then you let go and missiles fire. It's basically like Afterburner without any barrel rolls. And when you do that, everything is set to the music, and in fact the entire world, like, pulses to the beat. And when you let go of the lock on and you shoot everything, all of the hit impacts all hit on beats. Like, everything is quantized to the music, and that's the goal as you go through these stages and feel the music and live the shooting dream. And that's what Rez is. Rez is, it's hard to talk about because Rez is, like, my favorite game, but none of it is about, like, what game it is. It's just about the experience of playing it. Jackson, tell me about Rez.
Rez is cool. I understand your love of Rez. You play it, it's cool, the controller vibrates, the screen pulses, it's good. When you hit the end of every stage and you, like, activate the thing that pushes you through the next stage and the music, like, swells and another layer is added in and you fade between, like, 3 different environments, because the way you transition through environments is just, like, the whole screen fades, including your model. like a fade transition on a
well,
scene
like
in a film.
your model, like when it's the person especially, like does like a weird like corkscrew and then like dives into the new cyber world and then like spreads its arms out like it's skydiving in the internet.
Sure, but the model, the old model, like there's a point where two models on the screen. Like
Yep.
the way the transition is handled is very strange in a like continuation of space way in terms of a thing that would be important in a lot of games. But this is much more about like you feel the world fade away, including you, as you become another you. But it's just like a way of representing the transition rather than. Like this changes in Area X, which we'll get to, and like that has a more conventional one of these, and I really like just the world blending into itself as the music kicks up another gear and the vibration gets stronger. It's good stuff. Res, maybe you've heard of it.
Yeah. So briefly, there's like a story to Res, which is part of this, where you are in a like futuristic computer network called Project K. And it's controlled by an AI named Eden. And the thing that happened is like a virus hit Eden, and Eden is like been given like self-awareness. And because of that, she has anxiety. And you're basically going in to get rid of all of the systems like preventing her from expressing her best self. And you do that. You go through, and because of that, each level has like a theme that's like about human existence. Like level 4 is the one that I'll probably refer to the most because it's my favorite level. But level 4 is you going through like pyramids and statues and like the Great Wall, and it's just like wireframe representations of the structures of mankind. And like all of that in like the final level, you like literally go through like the birth of the planet, where it's like the planet exists and then water exists and now animals exist. As you go deeper and deeper, and then you actually confront Eden at the end, and it's really good. The like early aughts like internet retro aesthetic that this game embraces, it's like what Lawnmower Man wanted to be, but made by someone who actually understands art.
Yep. It's
really good.
It's like that Digimon movie.
I guess it is like that Digimon movie. It's probably better than that Digimon movie.
Well, yeah, probably. I mean, that Digimon movie is really good. I'm not here to speak ill of Hasada, but there is a lineage in terms of this is just apparently a way of a popular way of representing cyberspace in Japan. Like maybe there's other stuff as well, but it definitely like fits in that mold.
Yep. Yeah, and so your little AI guy, as you level up, because you can like gain upgrades to level up, and that allows you like basically more lives in the levels, because if you get hit, you get knocked down a level, like eventually becomes like a sitting lotus, like meditating cyber avatar, and then that like it turns into like a literal ball at the end where you're like your enlightenment is so complete you don't even have physical form, except for the final level where that ball turns into a baby and you're just a baby flying through cyberspace.
I only got the final form in the final level, so I only knew it was a baby.
Oh yeah, it's just a ball before that.
The lowest form is also a ball.
Yeah, no, it's weird. It only hatches into a baby at the very end.
Res.
Yeah, Res is ridiculous. So you had some, I don't want to say reservations, but you had a hard time with this game.
I'm ending this podcast.
What? Oh, I didn't even, the pun was unintended there, sorry.
Okay. Yeah, so Res is fantastic. Res is a really, really good game. The problem is, it was made in 2002, or I think 2002, 2001?
I think it's 2002.
That's my
2001.
Guess.
2001.
So it was made in 2001. Right, because it came out on Dreamcast, so it has to be. So it's made in then, and it just has a bunch of like difficulty quirks that seem to fight back against the idea of the game, because the game is good because you like feel it, and it's mostly a chill out thing as you like appreciate the worlds, appreciate the music, appreciate all of that coming together as like a scene, right? But that's not what I'm doing, because what I'm doing is just agonizingly staring at the screen looking for any missiles coming at me, because if one of them hits me, I'm fucked, because you get lives so slowly. You might get like 1 or 2 lives a level, and there's like 5 lives, and if you get hit, you lose an entire life, and you have to get like all 10 subsections again to level up again. And then the final boss. So I really struggled in the boss of World 2 or Area 2, I guess.
Which one? Oh, that's the big disc guy, right?
That's
like
the big disc guy.
disco
That
ball.
one, disco.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that one
really
sucks.
screwed me.
Like I always burn through my overdrives for that.
Yeah, I should have been using my overdrive, but then both Area 3 and 4 I managed to get through without dying, and that felt pretty good, but it was still like, oh, the boss of Area 4 was really stressful, and they know it because they give you overdrives every like 2 minutes.
Yep. It's also the best boss in the game.
It's also the greatest boss in the game. Yes, it's fantastic, and I was very happy that I was able to beat it.
Yep.
But then in like level 5, which is the longest level in the game, by a lot, and also gets really hard at the end. Like I would die right toward the end, and then your options are, I guess, you do the entire level again, and that's the only option. That is it. It's either that or don't play. And I was like, fuck this. This is just, it seems completely antithetical to the idea of a game that you are meant to like let wash over you, when the only way to not die is to focus so much on like, okay, I can't look at the actual images, I have to be very aware of what's coming at me. What do I need to shoot right now? What is the video game? Then the video game then takes precedence over the actual experience, which is the part of Res that is cool. And that it happens because it's a fucking hour-long game that came out in 2001, and if people could beat it all in one try, there would be riots in the streets. So
the interesting thing to me is someone who, like, I bought a PS2 copy of this long after the fact, because I didn't get a PS2 until relatively late, but like I played on PS2, played it on 360, I played it on PS4, I played it on PC, I played it through multiple times. Like, my experience with Res is that chill out game, because now I know where, like, roughly what's going to happen at any given time, and if you are capable of beating it, you don't really, like, it can be hard, like, the bosses can kill you if you're not careful, but you can mostly just kind of enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
I play Res, like, in a state of, like, trying not to dance too much to, like, miss playing the video game, and like, that part is really good. It definitely should have the thing where, like, the chill out tourist mode is unlocked from the beginning.
So it is, you can play chill out tourist mode, it just doesn't have level 5.
I thought, oh, does it not ever unlock level 5?
No, level 5 is just...
Huh, okay, that's interesting.
So there is a mode where you can't die, but it doesn't have level 5.
There is like a play through the entire game in one sitting, like, bonus mode, and that one has a invincibility mode that you can unlock, but you have to unlock it, and that's still, like, a pain. Like, that game has, like, a bunch of cool side modes buried under unlocks that is, I think they're also buried under time played, so you can just, like, keep playing and eventually unlock them, but it should just have them all unlocked.
There's stuff that's like, you can play this lost level if you beat Area 5 or play for 5 hours, and I'm like, 5 hours?
Yeah.
5
exactly.
The PS2! And, like, you didn't want to change this for the re-release? You didn't want to make some adjustments to these numbers?
I mean, on some level, I understand, because, like, Res is, like, the game that exists now is the exact same game that existed in 2001, and I, like, on some level, I greatly appreciate that. Like, they added a couple things on, but they didn't change the core game. But yeah, no, it does mean that you were interacting with a dated sensibility about what design software is.
Yep. And yeah, so that just means I'm like, the game is hostile in ways that just seem completely antithetical to what the game is about, which I assume is because of the sensibilities of, you know, it's a 2001 video game. The idea of just, like, because Area X doesn't have any of this. Area X is one of the easiest baby games to ever exist. You will never get hit. It's fine. And I think it's better for it, even if the actual game is maybe less interesting and, like, complete than Res itself. But
yeah, let's talk about Area X, unless you want to finish your thought. Sorry.
I was just going to say, it's clear that Area X is a thing that has been made now, and, like, putting Res into modern sensibilities is really interesting and cool. So do you want to explain to people who haven't played it what Area X is?
So Area X is a new level of Res, and it's designed, like, it's built in, is it Unreal Engine 4? Yes. Yeah. So it's built in a different engine. It is, like, modern. It's like that. So they announced Mega Man 11 this past week, and they did it by showing a piece of concept art that was tucked into Mega Man Legacy Collection 2 that everyone saw, was like, this is new art. That's weird. I wonder if this is for something. That's basically what Area X is. It feels like the rough sketch of what a Res sequel could be. Whether we'll get that or not is anyone's guess, but it is like a single relatively small level that you go through, you fight some guys, and you go through like you go deeper into the levels, and then eventually there's a boss, and you interact with the boss, and the boss is like really a beautiful light show. But it's also like a 3D environment in which you can actually direct your character to move around in. You can speed up, you can slow down. It's not on rails. And it's interesting because in doing that, it makes res easy as fuck. Because you can just avoid a missile. It's really weird. But also because of that, the level is basically like one big empty space with a lot of cool wallpapers. And as much as I like enjoy the aesthetic of like Area X res, and I think that like the song they picked was really good, it feels really empty to me. Like you go up to like these like glowing neon structures, and as you get close to them, they just dissolve into nothing because they can't be like an object for you to collide with because the game isn't built to support that. And like the ways in which you like go through tunnels and valleys and across oceans in like default res, the limitations of having an open space in Area X are like a real bummer. I would hope they would fix that if they ever actually turn it into a real game, but like it mostly is like a screensaver in which you're playing a version of res over.
I think it's a little more than that. Like there are some cool areas. There are some really cool. Like there's that big boss where you like have to go around and control its arms and stuff.
Yeah, that part's pretty cool. But like in the final boss thing where the giant lady is, like there's a bunch of like glowing pillars, and when you go up to those pillars, they vanish because you can't interact with anything.
Like yeah, you're not wrong, and I think for a full game that would be a thing that we would need. Like that's a challenge for like what Res 2 could theoretically be. Even like I don't know, we played Area X thinking, man, this feels like a sketch for Res 2, but presumably what it actually was Sony were like, we need a VR thing. Hey.
Yeah. I mean, like, actual Res is also playable in VR, and I've heard it's actually a pretty cool way to play that game. It's not, like, built for that in any way, but I would love to have played VR Res at some point in my life.
No, me too, but I'm never having a headset, so...
Yep.
No, thank you. But yeah, I don't know. I like the like just weird nothingness, intangible space of Area X. Like you fly around, you dissolve a bunch, the air enemies dissolve a bunch, everything like reconstructs around you depending on which way you're facing. It is very empty, but they managed to make that feel purposeful in like the particle design. I don't think that could sustain a whole game. I think that it is very like obviously this is some Unreal Engine 4 looking particles. I didn't think I would ever be able to look at a Res game and be like, holy shit, the Unreal Engine.
But also because it's like particle driven and not like hard polygons, like the whole thing just ends up, and part of it is the music choice and the fact that you can control your speed. The whole thing feels like softer than Res. Like Res is a game that like get your blood pumping, and Area X is like a cool like chill out time, and that's not bad, but it feels very different. Like the actual thing I take away from Area X is that it's like a good version of Child of Eden, which is Mizuguchi's like Res spiritual successor that is not a good game, but is like much more poppy, where Res is like electronica. And this was a nice middle ground where like I enjoyed it. It doesn't quite scratch the same itch, but it's really beautiful. It just kind of feels soft in a way. Like I come to Res to feel like I am becoming a robot.
Oh, I liked it because it was more chill, because the blood pumping version of Res is just annoying because I have to be like, I can't actually feel the music in that version.
What if you got good?
I mean, I guess I could just play Res for a decade.
Yeah, no, that's what I recommend. I don't know.
That's your recommended approach.
Yeah, no, play Res. Always be playing Res. Go back in time, play Res. In the future, play Res. Please play Res. It's my favorite.
I uninstalled
literally
Res.
One of my top 10 games of all time.
Yeah, I uninstalled Res, and you were like, this PC will go to its grave with Res on the hard drive.
Yep, my 360's got Res on it. My PS4 has Res on it. This PC has Res on it.
Your 360
I'll always
has
have Res.
already gone to its grave. With Res on the hard drive.
Yep,
You're never turning that thing on again.
Unless someone demands that we play a Game Club game that's only on 360. Yeah, no, for sure.
Oh, right, that almost happened.
Yes.
One day you'll have to play Banjo-Kazooie.
No, I don't.
Bolts. One day.
No, I don't. No,
yes,
I don't.
No, if you want to make M play Nuts and Bolts and turn their 360 on.
Patreon.com/abnormal mapping.
Yep.
I like Nuts and Bolts. I don't want to put in my 360, but I will, I guess, if people give us money.
Yep. Almost did, but then we played Prince of Persia instead.
Yeah, no, much better choice. I mean, whatever. But Nuts and Bolts is a better game than Sands of Time, but I didn't have to plug in anything extra to play Sands of Time.
And that's Rez.
That's Rez.
Our second game on the Game Club this month is Thumper, which is a game by Drool, who is Mark Fleury and Brian Gibson. They're a two-person studio. They made this game called Thumper. It is a rhythm violence game, is their branding term for it. It's a rhythm game. You're a space beetle going through a hellscape nightmare. You press A to make things happen. You like dodge obstacles on this track, send beams, fight bosses with your like rhythm beams. It's a cool. This is one of my favorite games. I love me some Thumper. It's very hard to describe without like actually seeing it. Like it makes perfect sense as soon as you look at it. So if you haven't, I would advise searching Thumper into YouTube and then clicking anything that comes up. But that's basically what the game is.
Yeah, in Thumper, you are going along a track. They're like gems, basically Guitar Hero style to hit. They're all along the music. The actual stages are broken up into short segments, usually like a minute or two probably, with a checkpoint, because this game is incredibly difficult. And then like the skills go, like this challenge goes up from there, and you fight a boss at the end, you fight mid bosses, and also, the time signature changes every level to reflect the number of level you're on, which means that when you get to level 5, you want to rip your face off. Level 7, also, just want to die. Please die. Time to die.
Level 7 is one of... Well, it's actually not that hard because they realized it's in 7-8.
Yeah, no, it's actually level 5 that was the hardest one for me, I think.
5-4 also sucks. So, key context here. Very key context. I am a drummer. I play the drums, so this... I don't find this game that difficult, and that's going to be a big talking point here. I think
you are the only person on Earth who does, like you and Alex Navarro, who is also a drummer, are the two people who are like, Thumper, yeah, it's great, you just flow with it. Everyone else with a brain and a sense of rhythm, and I do not lack a sense of rhythm. Thumper's hard. Like, it's fun, I enjoy it, but it's a hard fucking game.
So I'm the person who is apparently like, man, Rez, I couldn't like get it. Like, I recognize it's cool, but the game was difficult in a way that pushed me away from like the actual music going on, and so it wasn't really that it didn't really like connect with me. But Thumper, you just stop thinking, and you and the sound are one. The drums never stop. Let's go, Space Beetle.
No, because Thumper's too hard for that. Like, by the time, like, the second half of that game is me basically like sight reading the level because it's no longer possible for me to feel the music. Like, I got through this game by brute forcing it, not because I was like one with the sound.
That's a shame, because I mean, like, that is the thing that is with Thumper, is that you need to be very, very good at like music. Like, it is made by two incredibly talented musicians making a game about music in a way that like lines up with them. It is remarkable that it found an audience at all. It is not a what's the word? Like, it is a very niche game, right?
Yeah, because like even the actual like music you're playing is not for everyone. It is very loud, industrial cacophony nonsense, and I love it. That's entirely my jam musically. So that's why I like keep bashing my head against Thumper even when like I didn't enjoy the game anymore, because the sound and the look, which is like this dark, cloudy nothingness with this like chrome track and all these like spider web arms coming up and like embracing you as you go through tunnels, is like the best. It's the greatest. Every frame of Thumper is a beautiful album art, but the actual video game is hot bullshit.
Oh no, it's everything I want in a video game. So my not argument, but my like reasoning for why I love Thumper in a way that I can't love Rez is because the game of Thumper is the music. Like, you turn and it is your turning that causes the music to happen. The music is designed in such a way where there is very little difference between your actions and the sound. Like, most of the instruments are just the sound effects of the track. Like, there are these like lines like that come to the track, and you have to break these like wires. And every time one of them is placed on the track, they make a sound, and then every time you hold A and break them, they make a sound. So like that, and that is what the music is made of. It is like made up of your own actions. Like it feels like creating music in a way that Rez does not, because the game of Rez is just Afterburner. Like I don't have to play Rez to a beat. Rez happens and there is a beat there, and like the actions of like once you highlight enemies happens to a beat, but I don't necessarily need to move myself to the beat in Rez. I don't feel
sure.
like
Rez is about that disconnect. Like being about synesthesia, it's about like this idea that these two things that shouldn't line up can line up if you like allow your brain to work in a non-normal way. Thumper is just a rhythm game. Like, yeah, the rhythm violence be damned, whatever. The gems come down the track and you hit the button to the gems in the right way and you survive.
Yeah, it is a rhythm game, and it is a very like aesthetically ridiculous one and a very like hard one, so that's where the rhythm violence comes from, but that is just branding. It is a rhythm game.
But also like half of the objects in Thumper are bad. Like the gates where you have to fly up, like the blue gates, are terrible.
It took me a while. I realize how they work now. I've started getting better at them.
So the thing with the beetle is like the beetle, you press the A button and you will like basically like hunker down, and that allows you to break through barriers, and you have to hunker down and lean to like get like hit walls to bounce off of. You have to lean in the opposite direction of the wall. And then there's these blue gates that are in the air, and you press up and a button to like get up in the air and you break through them. These ones are like almost entirely optional, because there's no penalty for missing them, except for score, I guess. Other than the fact the music sounds bad, but by the end of the game, they want you to like do them in sequence with like the normal gems and the walls and the little barricades, like at a speed that becomes like really hard to do. So you just end up dropping them because they're the easiest thing to drop, which means it's actually harder to track the music because they're optional, so because you aren't feeling the instruments anymore.
The one big problem with Thumper is the control scheme in this sense. There are like moments where you would really, really want some options on the triggers, because you just have the well, so you have the A button and you have the stick, and I think you have like the A button is replicated on the RB button or something, but basically all movement is handled with the stick, which is a problem during some of these moments because you need to go up in the air. So you press A and you hold up to break the things, and then you might need to stay up in the air as you hit two gates, and to do that you have to keep holding up and A, and like turn your stick slightly left without turning it all the way left, so the up is not being held. Like that is very awkward. There's also multi-tracks where you have to switch between tracks, and it's very easy to over-switch and switch to too many, switch to like why that isn't on the triggers is beyond me. That would be very easy.
Moving between tracks should be bumpers. Getting up in the air should be a trigger. Like that game would be like, I would still be playing that game if that was the way it was built.
It relying on the analog stick is the main weakness in its approachability. Like most of the approachability weakness is by design. Like it's a game about rhythm that requires you to like it's not here to teach you how to be a drummer. It is here to be an expression of that. So like that is not approachable. But a thing that
it does ask you to understand how 5/4 time works. So like,
but like but that's just baked into the design of the game, and you can't like. You know, that would change the game, changing that. But I think changing the control scheme.
Like when that game came out, like either people got it or they bounced off so hard and never came back.
Yeah, and I think that's mostly fine. Like,
no, it's fine. Like this is not a game for this isn't Guitar Hero. This isn't even Rez. Like I think Rez is pretty approachable. It can be hard and bullshitty, but I think the appeal is like pretty instant. I think Thumper, either it grabs you or it's like repellent.
Yeah, I would not disagree.
I played Thumper when it came out, and I really liked it up until the part where it started getting into weird time signatures and I couldn't like feel the music anymore. And then I bounced in level 7, and then replaying again, I almost bounced again in level 7 and was able to power through, thankfully. But that game is cool, but yeah, it's really hard if you are not a drummer. That's my take.
Yep, and so the reason I find it less hard's not the right word. It's still hard, but the reason I like it is because of the way like it is a rhythm game, so the actions you take are the music, and it is designed to like make that connection disappear. Another reason I really like it is that it's very good about giving you ways to recover. If you hit something and you like lose your armor and you can like go for a little bit, you can very easily do a like up down blast and recover your armor with that way.
Though that does not actually work all the time.
No, you have to go for about 7-8 notes, and then you get the ability to do that again. You have to like build up a 2x chain.
Is that what that is?
Yes.
It never explained that was based on your chain, so I never knew why it was working sometimes and not others.
If you do it too quickly after losing your armor, then you can't do it. But if you
because the thing I would do is I'd lose my armor and I'd immediately try to do it, be like, oh, let me get that armor back. Doesn't work.
No, and
it doesn't tell you why it doesn't work.
I guess I just figured that out. I'd like because it doesn't tell you, but I did go, oh, I can't do it now because my sound is wrong. I can feel that it's wrong, so I figured that out. But yes, it does not. It is minimalist in a way that's very deliberate, but the game could use a manual. Like it took me a while to work out how to do the upgates, to how to do the longer ones. I couldn't figure out how to go further, and
that also took me a long time.
The way to do that is to go up and then keep pressing A over gems as you are up in the air, and that will give you more boost. And you're like, oh right, of course. Like yes, that totally makes sense and is very logical in the design of the game, but if someone would have just told me that would have been much easier. But the way this game can support you being sloppy, sloppy is a relative term for like once you're good at it, I guess. But the way this game can support you being sloppy, the way this game isn't to me about getting it perfect. Like I thought maybe I'd be the person who would want to go back and like do Thumper score runs. I don't give a shit about that. It is about the feeling of in the moment. I just don't want to break my I don't want to. It's like it's burnout, right? I don't want to crash. I want to keep going on this track. And it scratches a very similar itch and feels like this mix between trying to hit a track and also trying to improvise, because you're like, okay, I need to make sure I can get my armor back at some point. Okay, I've got a breathing room. I can do this. Let's keep going. It is good. It feels very good to play to me. I understand why people are turned off. I understand if you don't like it, but it is one of my favorite games of all time. I love it so much.
We're probably at the end here. You want to talk a bit about the Switch version versus the PC? Yeah,
so let me talk about analog sticks. I was playing on the Switch version, and I think the Switch version is great. The force feedback on the Joy-Cons is excellent, but the Joy-Cons have maybe the worst analog stick of a modern console.
3DS exists.
No, because the 3DS analog stick is barely that is a disc, and everyone playing it knows that it's a disc. No one is ever asking you to do non-disc things.
That's true. Yeah, no, the Switch analog, the Joy-Con analog sticks are bad.
Like, I can play Mario 3D Land, and I have full control over Mario at all times, even though that's a disc. I can play Mario Odyssey, which is a fucking new Mario game on a new console, and it feels shit because of the analog sticks sometimes. They have like
the best like Zelda goes around that by never being about precise movements. Thank God.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I don't know why the sticks have a built-in dead zone in a way that's very obvious, but they do. I have a Pro Controller and have ended up using that more than I've wanted to, which is annoying because I like using that not in docked mode. But
that $80 controller.
Yeah, fuck that.
No.
Nintendo, not your friend. But so I was playing Thumper for like 6 levels on the Switch, and it was cool, but at the point where it was asking you to do more, like I was having to basically use the D-pad, and that also doesn't feel good as an analog stick replacement. And I liked it. I liked the vibration that they do there, but it just couldn't. The controllers just weren't there in the way that it controls on PC for me, which is a real shame.
Play it on a console or a computer, not the Switch.
Yep. PlayStation VR.
Yeah, it's got VR support. None of us we have not used VR ever, so.
Well, this is one of those VR games. It was like advertised as that, even though it was never actually developed as that. So it is fine on a screen. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, Thumper. Maybe watch a video. I would actually suggest the Giant Bomb Quick Look because Alex enjoys it and Vinny is repulsed. So
I might record a video of Thumper at some point. I want to see how well I can do on camera.
Okay. And you can just see the 2 reactions to Thumper because Thumper's a lot, but it's a very good video.
Yes, it is.
All right. Let's get to the last game.
Let's do it.
Our last game is NES Remix. This is a Wii U game that came out December 2013. This game is 4 years old. Can you believe it?
God. God. NES Remix just came out.
It is directed by Koichi Hayashida. It is a collection of NES games Nintendo published exclusively that are split up into challenges that are like the mechanics of the game all like turned into brief, almost like WarioWare-esque mini games. And then they use those to build new things called the remix stages, in which you are playing the game, but there is like a weird new mechanic that is introduced, and you enjoy those. You are graded on like how fast you do stuff, how many times you failed, and you get stars. And stars unlock new levels. It gives you stamps like constantly for the Miiverse, which no longer exists, which is a real bummer. There's a sequel to this game I have not played that has different games, and I think it has like video features where you're like, here's the developers playing the game to show you how it works and stuff. But I don't actually know 100% because like I said, I've not played it. And then this was all packaged together, and there is like a truncated version of the best ones of these that is on the 3DS. But we're playing the original.
Yes.
Jackson, tell me about NES Remix. Someone who... So, here's my question. How many of these games had you played before playing NES Remix?
3, 4?
So you played Super Mario Brothers.
I'm looking at the list. So yes, I played Mario and Zelda. I played Balloon Fight.
Yep.
I touched Excite Bike.
Okay.
But that's it.
You'd not played Donkey Kong?
I have never played NES Donkey Kong.
Huh, okay, cool. All right, that's a question that I wanted to ask because I've played all these before. So
yeah, I was trying to think, have I played Donkey Kong? Donkey Kong seems like, of these, it is the one I most should have touched. But no, I don't think I've played Donkey Kong.
Okay. So tell me about the video game.
It's interesting. It's like, I would not call it a good game, NES Remix, but I would call it interesting, and like, it is... Okay, it is the most homework video game of all time. It's like, play these small bits of NES games and understand how they work. It's like fascinating in that sense. It's not fun, because a lot of the NES games are really awkward and really not very, like, fun to actually play in these broken down ways. And the, like, games like Zelda, I love Zelda. I think that's a great game, but it does not support this, like, bite-sized format very well.
But also the same way, like, this is more of a tutorial than Zelda's ever had.
Yeah, but like as a way of teaching you the mechanics of like old Nintendo games, it's excellent. Like it is I'm so happy it exists. I'm glad people can do it. I wouldn't like say, you know, it's describing it as WarioWare for NES games is
yes,
accurate.
No,
WarioWare is
also
phenomenal.
Wrong. Yes,
every single action that you take in WarioWare is like the most perfectly precision tuned 5-second piece of joy. This is made of like a balloon fight.
Yeah, so like. One, don't disparage Balloon Fight. I will come at you. But two, the thing that's interesting about this is that, like, while it presents as like, oh, mini games like WarioWare, right? Because they have a mini game series. What it actually ends up being is like, watch this video about how this game works. They play these challenges, they explain the mechanics, like, and it explains things like, here's how you get like bonus power ups. Here's how you find secrets. Here's how you do like advanced techniques. It ends up being like a primer in 80s video game design.
Mm-hmm.
And then that leads into the remix areas, which are like really like complicated and often very hard. And even though they're like, sometimes they can be novel and really cool, but, also like they create like a new graphic, because like the original, just the challenges are just the NES games, like in a window playing it. The remix stages and the bonus stages are like, they have like a gradient in the background for no good reason, and everything's got a drop shadow. And what it evokes, because we're looking at this in 2017, is Mario Maker. And what this game basically is like the beginnings of what would be Mario Maker to me, because they decided, what if we like built a game that tries to be a game design studio, and they did it, and it's actually not very fun because it's a game design like primer tool, but they then went and made like the best game design tool that's ever existed. like off the backbone of this. Like I look at this and I see, oh, this is where
Yeah.
Mario Maker came from, not, oh, this is like a WarioWare derivative.
You're not wrong. This is clearly where Mario Maker comes from. The aesthetic of the remix stages in Mario it's just how the Mario looks. The drop shadow that's what it is. That's how it looks.
Yep. And also like this like idea that like we can teach people how to make NES style levels is like that's what Mario Maker is all about, and does really well at that. This game is more it's weird because like the game choices are interesting, but I feel like some of them they don't spend enough time with. Some of them they spend way too much time with. Nobody ever should play Ice Climber ever. Don't force anyone to play Ice Climber ever. It's a bad video game. But I like Clu Clu Land. Clu Clu Land's indecipherable to people, but I think it's a really cool game.
Yeah, it's fun. I'm still not sure. Like, yeah, it is indecipherable. I had a good time, but
Yeah, because Clu Clu Land's got the infamous, like, you are extending your left or right hand to grab poles and swing around, and you need to uncover the hidden object that's in every level. Like, oh, there's an object that's, like, all made up of, like, line art, and that line art is obscured until you go over it. So you have to swing around these poles to uncover the art and avoid enemies, because it's also like a maze game because it's made in the 80s. And those three things together make a game that is overwhelmingly impossible to play. But also the idea is really cool.
Yeah, you're like, wait, is this Pac-Man or Picross? What is this? Oh god, I'm dead.
It's both, but hard. Because also your controls are ridiculous.
The 80s, nothing had been worked out yet, which is like means that you get crazy shit like this where it's cool, but
then also you get golf, and golf is just golf. Like, video games have not improved upon golf at all.
I mean, they've added like,
they've added quality of life features, but like the actual mechanic of you pick a club, you line up the, like, you see where it's going to go on the map, and then you hit the 3-button swing, that just exists.
Well, you can't improve upon golf. It's already perfect. They tried to do that with like the Ryan Analog Stick stuff in what's his name?
Later
I was about
Tiger?
to say Tony
Yeah.
Hawk's. Fuck me. Tiger Woods, the other one. And they still have the 3-point swing in there because you can't beat the 3-point swing.
Yep. Yeah, no. And so what this means is, like, some of these games, you're like, oh yeah, this is cool. Like, I'm discovering a new favorite if you've never played before. Or me, it's like, I like golf. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to play golf. Then it asks you to make a hole-in-one. You're like, fuck off, golf, eat a dick.
I can't do that in, like, modern golf games.
Yeah. But then it also asks you to play Mario Brothers ever. And you're like, I hate Mario Brothers.
It's like, not only does it ask you to play Mario Brothers, it asks you to, in one of the remix stages, which is one of the worst decisions ever made in a video game, but closing down Nintendo for this, I ask you to play Mario Brothers against the clock, where the clock isn't a clock, but it is the screen zooming out to, like, pixelated size.
That one is hilarious because of how ridiculously bad it is. It is a joke played on you for playing it. It is a Coen Brothers of Mario.
I know.
Games.
Like, I can feel the development team going, look at this idiot playing Mario Brothers and they're pixel big. No one should ever do this, idiot.
But then you get like some levels where like in the remix stage, like the later remix stages, you're getting like, here, just beat the end of Zelda, which is really cool. Like, there's one mission that's just play the end of Zelda, and it's like, yeah, the end of Zelda is great. Or there's one that's like, play through these stages, and now they're like Game Boy colored, and now they're Virtual Boy colored at the last like challenge, and like the like Nintendo quirky like nods to history are really cool in that.
It's very cool. I like that it exists. I don't necessarily like playing all the games, but the way the remix stuff like expresses itself is like very inventive, and also like. Nintendo, how am I saying this? Nintendo's relationship to old games is strange, right? Like, they are always putting from them for nostalgia, always like, look at the old thing. We've got to, like, buy this NES Classic. You can do this.
So, yeah, one of the things I wanted to state is almost every game that's in here, I think with the exception of Wrecking Crew, yeah, I think that's true. Every one of these, maybe Urban Champion, was available as a playable NES cart in the original Animal Crossing.
Huh.
Like, they were just in the game, and you can get them and play them. And then that by the Wii, they were like, hey, please pay $5 for each of these. Some of these worth $5. Some of these absolutely not worth any money. Urban Champion is not worth anything. Or Urban Champion is maybe the dumbest game Nintendo's ever made.
This game doesn't just have all the ROMs in a menu is kind of damning, but they can't because they instead have a link for you to buy them in the Virtual Console.
which is a real shame because if they just had playable versions of these games, like I think it would introduce people, like, because they're teaching you how to play games, then you have to go and buy. It doesn't make any sense. Like, put the games in here. I understand why Nintendo wants to make money, but put the games in here. No one's buying your NES games anymore.
No, I wish that they would understand. I mean, I guess they kind of have understood that and have bundled them in like fucking boxes that I don't want. I'd rather them just do that for games I can buy. I want collections, not virtual console stuff.
Even if they put everything in here but Super Mario Brothers and Zelda, I'd understand that. Those are games people want to pay money for.
That's the thing, right? Is that like this game, in a way, like what I was saying before, was like Nintendo's relationship with older games is like this is this font of nostalgia and stuff. But this actually allows you to go back and look at the old games for like exactly what they were without any like this is what the game are. This is how it was built. It is a real thing, and you can like interact with it. And then you can't play the fucking video game. It's the most Nintendo decision possible. God.
Yeah. What I want to do is go through these games and get your impressions of how good the games are. Do you think that'd be fun? I want to do this.
Okay.
I have the list on Wikipedia in alphabetical order, so we'll just go through them and we'll briefly say what we think about the game, or a thing we think is cool, a thing we think is suck. Balloon Fight. We covered this last month, or 2 months ago.
It's fun. I'm bad at it. I suck at it.
I'm also bad at it. It's great. Please watch that Iwata video of him playing Balloon Fight. Baseball.
It's fine. It's an old baseball game. Like, what do you want from me?
Those untitled Nintendo sports games are all surprisingly playable. Like, they're a good time if you have someone to play with. But baseball's weird because it doesn't support a 2-player mode, so there's nothing there to do other than like swing the bat.
And I did that. I can swing the bat of the ball. I nailed it.
Clue Land.
Come on. We did this. Clue Land is Donkey Kong.
Donkey Kong.
I mean to shock you here, but Donkey Kong's pretty good.
Donkey Kong is a really good game. That NES version is the version I know because I am young enough that being in an arcade like doesn't exist outside of the like Player's Choice cabinets, which I think just use the NES version. There's like weird legal things around Donkey Kong, the original arcade version, that mean Nintendo will probably never release it again. Donkey Kong Jr.
I suck at it. I think it's interesting, and I would like to play it and get good at it one day, but I'm fucking terrible at it.
I think Donkey Kong Jr. is better than Donkey Kong. I really like the crawl up 2 vines to go up faster, go down 1 vine to go down faster mechanic. I think
it's really like a really interesting mechanic that I wish I was better at, because even going through the tutorials of the way the game works, I just still really terrible at Donkey Kong Jr. And every time it came up, I was like, God, this game again. Even though I recognized it, like that is not fucking Ice Climbers. That is a game that it is not only possible to get good at, but once you understand it, it's probably a great time. I just didn't get there in this journey.
Yeah. Donkey Kong 3.
Similarly.
I think Donkey Kong 3 sucks.
I don't. Yeah.
You're not playing as Mario or Donkey Kong Jr. You're just Stanley with his little bug spray. I don't like. It feels like a Game & Watch game, like turned into an arcade thing, and it's not. I don't think it's interesting. I
don't understand. I guess I should look up the history of Donkey Kong 3 because I don't understand why it is what it is.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure either, to be perfectly honest.
Because Donkey Kong, classic video game, everyone knows it. History has been like written and understood. Donkey Kong Jr. I'm like, oh, Donkey Kong Jr. like from Donkey Kong. That is an important piece of Donkey Kong like lore, what have you. Donkey Kong 3. Who the fuck is Stanley?
He's just a guy.
He's just a guy.
And the game is now like a weird shooter.
Yeah, like what are you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excite Bike.
It's great.
Yep. The original game, the NES cartridges had like a level editor. The original Famicom version was a disk system game, so you could save your levels to a disk. The Famicom or the NES version didn't have battery backup because it was before that, so there was no way to save the levels you would create in the level creator.
Yes, I love old games.
It even had an option to say save. Didn't do anything.
Yep.
Excite Bike's really neat. That's one of those games where it's like, this is way cooler than it has any right to be, given like era it's in.
Much like the sports games, I guess it is technically a sports game, but much like the other sports games, it is like just one of those games about going down a track and balancing the jumps and stuff. Like, that's a whole genre. Yeah, well, yes, I know, but like Trials exists, and it's obviously nothing like Trials. But as one of those things, it's much more playable and complete than you might expect for like the physics capabilities of a NES game, which are none.
It has that Trials thing where like you need to make sure you land square on the ground or you are going to get messed up.
You do. You get messed up.
Yep. There's golf. We talked about golf. Golf is good.
Golf in most forms, good. Ice Climber, next on this list, sucks.
Ice Climber is awful. Terrible jumping. Everything about the aesthetic is bad except for that polar bear wearing sunglasses. The music is obnoxious. I hate Ice Climbers.
Yeah, so I don't think I hate it as much as you, just because, like, okay, I have to play Ice Climber.
I have played this game multiple times over decades. I hate Ice Climbers every time I play it.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense, because I was like, I thought it was bad, but I don't, like, I played it in this collection with a bunch of other games, so I didn't touch it. Like, I didn't touch any of these games that much, right?
Yeah.
So I can't have the hatred you have for Ice Climber, but it is inspiring.
Yep. Mario Bros, the original, the best,
fucking
some would say.
It's fucking awful. I hate Mario Brothers.
What if before, like, the problem is we can't go back in time, right? Like, Mario's defined by having some of the best, like, air control physics ever created for a video game character.
But if you look at this as the midpoint between Donkey Kong and
it's
Super
also
Mario
bad.
Brothers,
Yes, you're right. It's also
two
bad.
of which are like two of the most important and like excellent games from the 80s, and it's just this fucking awful one-screen piece of shit game with the worst jumping and like confusing mechanics about how to kill enemies that you always end up like bringing them back to life by accident because you didn't take them out in their proper down state or whatever, and just it's bad. I don't like it.
Pinball.
It's fine. It's too slow because it's not real pinball.
Yeah,
like,
it's
not
really
a new
slow.
Pinball game. Like, you compare golf to pinball, and while both games have not changed, the fact that the pinball moves so slow is modern pinball has actually appreciably is actually different in an appreciable way in the way that golf is like the same game.
Super Mario Bros.
Well, I've never heard of this. What is this?
It's a video game. You might have played it on the YouTube channel.
I might have.
Yeah.
Seems like a thing I would do.
Yeah, no. You might have died to the first Goomba.
No, not me.
The best part is now we can joke about it because you're actually pretty good at video games like this.
Yeah, no, I've played a bunch of old games now.
Yeah.
But Mario's good. It's no Mario 3, and it's really no Mario World. But
it's no Mario 2.
Well, it's really no Mario 2 in many ways.
Yes. Tennis, anyone?
It's okay.
Yeah, it's tennis. I don't know. This sports
It's tennis.
fun.
What do you want from me?
The Legend of Zelda.
I love Zelda. I think it fits very badly into this collection, but because of what kind of game it is. But
This collection is the most I have ever loved the original Legend of Zelda. So, I'm sorry. I just don't have that affection for Zelda. All mine's on Zelda 2 because that's the one I owned as a kid.
I mean, that's fair, but apparently I'm the one who just comes in and like when we first did this podcast, I bounced hard off Link to the Past, which is just what video games are now. Video games are still Link to the Past. How did I do that? And yet then a couple years later, I came to The Legend of Zelda, the NES game, and I had a guide, to be fair. Like, I had a guide telling me where to go and like where the secrets were, because you need that. But you know, I was like, Legend of Zelda, yeah, that's where it is. I fucking love this game, even though I died so much to one enemy that there's like a 40-minute video of me in one dungeon. It's really embarrassing. But I don't know. I have the affection for it. I love The Legend of Zelda.
Urban Champion.
That game's cool.
That game is bad. It is a 2-button fighting game before fighting games were a thing, and like I guess that's interesting historically, and like this is kind of one of the first fighting games, but also it's two guys punching each other outside of a shop and making sure the cops don't come, and it's not they charged full price for this video game at some point, Jackson.
Well, so to me, I'm like, this is just I guess like a WarioWare slightly, but like you press the button, you punch the guy. It's not a huge thing, but I guess in the context of this game is as much of a game as Zelda.
Yep.
Like, that's crazy, but it's fine. You punch the guy.
Yep. And then Wrecking Crew, which is a game that I've played a couple times, but I am mostly not familiar with. It wasn't big back in the day. It didn't see the same re-releases that a lot of these games did. But Wrecking Crew is pretty cool.
I like it. I like whenever you climb on ladders. Like, Donkey Kong is good because it's all climbing on ladders and like the speed difference is just fun. And this is more, hey, what if more ladders? What if ladders?
I like Wrecking Crew because it's like what if Load Runner was for normal people?
Like a bunch of dudes who are around for the 80s are getting so mad at you right now. They probably don't listen.
But
still
the thing
mad.
that, like, not only do you, it's the same kind of enemy avoidance and like setting traps, like making sure the door is open so the enemy goes in the door, which is like basically putting an enemy in a pit in Load Runner. But also you get to knock down buildings, and that's cool. That's better than like digging holes. That's my take. Yep. Knocking down buildings better than digging holes.
Correct. Accurate.
And that's everything. Those are all the games. This game is cool. I don't know if I'd recommend it unless you have an interest in 80s games. But if you haven't played NES games very much, I think it's actually like a cool way to get into those games and then like load up a bunch of ROMs and actually enjoy the games once you understand how they work.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. It's neat. We will continue to try to play Wii U games as possible for this podcast because the Wii U is cool, and rip the Wii U.
There are some Wii games I plan to play soon.
Yeah, okay. That counts.
Those on the Wii U.
Yeah. I would play those on a Wii U. I don't have a Wii anymore, so.
At some point, I've got to play Metroid Prime.
Yeah, Metroid. I'll probably play that with you, so.
Yeah, all right.
Metroid Prime's good. It's better than NES Remix, so I guess we're done talking about NES Remix.
Yeah, anyway, in conclusion, NES Remix is Land of Contrasts, not as good as Metroid Prime.
It's time for questions. If you have questions, you can send them to podcast@abnormalmapping.com. You can ask us anything about games we're talking about, games we're not talking about. We'll opine about whatever. If you have comments about games we played in the past, anything, you just send us. We don't actually get that many emails. We would love emails because I love talking about them. So please send us emails. But we do have some Twitter questions. So the first question is from our good friend AMR. So it is a two-parter. 1, why is Rez one of the best games ever made? I don't know, it just is, sorry.
It's alright.
And 2, which version of Rez is the best? Play Infinite. There's no reason to go back at this point.
I would be interested, I would be interested in the old versions of Rez, but not today. Like, I'm interested in what Rez is like playing on like a CRT.
No, like, Rez itself is interesting. There's no reason to play HD at all, because Infinite has just made it obsolete.
Yeah. No, in a modern context, you just want to play the PC version or the PS4 version, depending on what you have. But I am fascinated in what, like, Rez was like on, like, flickery CRTs, because I bet that completely changes the experience.
I feel like the Rez is one of those games where the HDness makes it feel like its best self in a lot of ways.
Oh, no,
like,
I agree.
Like, that game in widescreen on a monitor where I'm just, like, pumping it directly into my eyeballs, the sharpest it will ever be, is amazing.
Running at, like, 200 times rendering resolution.
Yes, absolutely. You can just crank... My computer can just crank that all to the maximum, and it's great. It looks amazing.
Yeah.
So, our friend Cass asked, would you rather play Rez VR or Thumper VR?
I guess, like, I mean, I'd rather play Thumper, so Thumper VR?
I would rather play VR.
But yes. that's just which games we'd rather play. I don't necessarily think either of them would be better or worse.
I would like to experience both in VR. I think I would appreciate how overwhelming Thumper VR is more than I think it would add to Rez. I just like Rez enough that I would be like, yeah, VR, Rez.
Isn't Rez VR does the thing where your vision controls the...
Yes.
Okay. And
which I've heard makes that game much easier.
Okay, because I would have assumed that would have made that game really awkward, but
I don't actually know.
They designed around that somehow.
Yeah, I assume it gives you a very big painting reticle for locking on.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Remember in Afterburner Climax where you can get the giant reticle and it just fills the entire screen and it's the best.
There is nothing as good as Afterburner Climax when you've unlocked all the beasts and you just fucking kill everything.
And that game's frame rate just tanks because you're constantly going at top speed.
Oh, I love it!
Yeah, it's good. Cass also asked, how's NES Remix compared to WarioWare? Yeah, it doesn't, really.
No.
Yeah, no, I wish it did. I think there's cool stuff. Like the remix stages start to get there. The goofy ones where it's like, do this level where you're constantly running, or like is the Mario on a curve in this, or is that actually in WarioWare? That's actually in WarioWare, where you play in Twisted. WarioWare. There's one where you were playing it like it's on like a giant cylinder and you're just like turning the thing to move. It's really good. Like you can't actually move Mario. You are turning the world under him as you jump and stuff. It's pretty good. It is a better way to express. Just go play all of the like 8-volt stages. That's what I would suggest.
I tried to buy WarioWare Twisted, and I got sent a regular GBA cart with a Twisted sticker for £40. So clearly that racket is I'm never going to get to play Twisted. It's never going to happen. I'm sad about it.
If I ever see a Twisted cartridge in the wild, I will buy it and send it to you.
Okay, so. I'll hook you up, because that is the only video game that I'm like actually going to spend fucking money on in that sense.
Yep. And then we have one more question from Ark on Twitter, and it is Thumper. How difficult is it? Does it count as a rhythm game, or is it something else? Thumper's hard, straight up.
Thumper's hard, and it's a rhythm game.
Yep. Yeah, gems come down tracks. Every movement you make is like in the music and the rhythm. Those rhythms become abstract, or not abstracted, but they become complex to the point where it can often feel like you're not playing music later on because you get overwhelmed and you lose the sense. Part of that is because the music is like atonal, like industrial nonsense. It's good though, if you're into that sort of thing. I will upfront say that. I think the music in Thumper is great.
It is.
But yeah, it totally counts as a rhythm game. It is more of a rhythm game than Rez is. It's more than rhythm game than like a lot of games are, I feel like. So
yeah, like the branding of all rhythm violence was like a very smart idea to sell that game. But I think when describing that game, it is just a rhythm game with an aesthetic. Like that is what it is, and that is great.
Yeah.
But it is very hard. So if it's too hard, then don't worry about it. We have an email here from Hunter, who says, Dear M and Jackson, I've been trying to get past the second level in Rez for months. I'm usually pretty alright at video games. I'm not having trouble with Thumper. Just for some reason, I'm not getting Rez. So my question is, have you been unable to get the mechanics of a game that everyone else seems to get? Good show as always, Hunter. P.S. I know about the travel mode. I'm just too stubborn.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Relatable. Thank you for saying it's a good show. We crave the validation.
No, we really do. I mean,
we really do.
I understand people like it, but I need to be told, preferably like once a week, that my show is good and people like listening to it. If you can cite specific episodes of your favorites, that's even better, because then I like, oh, you like that? Okay.
Yes. But no, thank you, really. This is a good question. Rez. I mean, no.
Well, I mean, have you considered getting good?
Well, Area 2 is the hard area in the game. Like, the final boss is much harder, but Area 2 is the stumbling block, I feel.
Yeah, no, I think the boss of Area 2 is, like, hot bullshit, straight up.
It's the bit where all the, like, trees splinter off and then each shoot out rockets, and you have to be very on it to stop them.
Yeah, this is usually when I burn through every single one of my red charges.
Yeah, you got to pop the overdrive
Also,
there.
like, at this point, like, the one thing I would recommend is, like, at this point you should understand the balance of when you want to do, like, max lock and when you don't. Don't always try for the max lock, even if it boosts your score. Like, especially when, like, but when those, like, giant walls come at you, you want a max lock. Max locks makes your life much better.
Yep. I just hold the A button and press it on and off at, like, with regularity to make sure that I'm getting the hits off as quickly as possible.
Yep.
I don't care about score.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like a good max lock because it feels good.
Yeah, it feels great.
That's why.
But
especially when you can get the max lock on the thing that needs a max lock to unlock. If you like get a stray couple hits on it, then do it with only 6. Sucks.
Yep.
You need to get the max lock.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Do we have any good examples for this?
So I was thinking about this, and I was like, what's a game that everybody likes that I just don't get? And there's a lot of games that I don't
Vanquish.
like. So there's a lot of games like that where, like, I understand what people like, or I understand how to play the game. I just think the game sucks. But mechanically, I don't know. Like, that's kind of how I felt about Tony Hawk when I played it. I was like, I guess I see what you like, but I don't know how to play this.
That makes sense. Tony Hawk is definitely there for me because I love Tony Hawk, but a normal person should not be like trying to force their way.
Well,
into Tony Hawk.
Like a person who had only played Skate and really liked Skate and had never come to Tony Hawk.
Oh, Skate's so fucking good.
You know, I mean, I feel this way about Street Fighter. I don't understand Street Fighter at all. Like, one, I think the characters are ugly, but also, like, half the characters are charged characters. Who wants to play a video game like this?
Charged characters suck. This is my opinion. I know the scrub opinion, but it is mine.
Like, it's not fun. I don't want to play this. This sucks. That's why I play Mortal Kombat. Bring back Virtua Fighter.
I'm still kind of there with Puyo Puyo. Like, I love Puyo Puyo Tetris. It is one of my games of the year. But Puyo Puyo is so fucking hard. Like, it is clear that game benefits from being a mainstay in Japan in the way that Tetris is, but the logic of building chains is so still alien to my brain that I'm basically doing guesswork. I'm like trying to get them in threes, and hopefully they'll line up to form a chain. I can't. My brain has not like switched to getting the mechanics of that game yet, because building chains is just a very specific thing to mentally do. That's the main one. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm not very good at Dark Souls yet. I'll give one of those. I've tried like 2 of those games and got a little bit in. Each time got a little better. One day I'll get there.
Yeah. Should play Monster Hunter.
I should play Monster Hunter.
Yeah. That's what got me. That's what got me to be like, oh, Dark Souls. I understand this now.
Yep. Yeah, it totally was.
Yep.
And then you played Bloodborne because it was like Castlevania, and
it is
very hyped.
Yeah. Goes on too long. I mean, that's the problem with all the Souls games, right? Go on too long.
Yep.
Okay, we're clearly done with this question. Thank you for the question, though. Hey, if you don't like Rez, just watch it on YouTube. That's what I do when I'm like, I don't want to play this. This seems cool, but no, I watch it on YouTube.
They should have a way for YouTube to connect to the vibration.
Yeah, I know, for sure, because, that'd be great. Hey, if I could just get... Look, I don't know. Maybe it's bad if YouTube could just, like, vibrate whatever object you wanted, because YouTube teledildonics would become a real thing. Burgeoning market.
I meant if I could just click Res Play Visualizer, I want the vibration in the game, but I said YouTube.
Yeah,
but
no, now it's spiraled into me thinking about how this would be, like... there would never not be awful think pieces about this. So that's it for the questions. Next month... Well, actually, 2 things. In 2 weeks will be our Game of the Year podcast. As always, it will be
5 hours
a music show. It will not be 5 hours long. It'll probably be about 2.5. We haven't recorded it yet. I have the music all set up, though. It'll be a music cast. We'll talk about our favorite games that we played this year, some of our least favorite games. It'll be a good time. Please look forward to it. It should be dropping somewhere between Christmas and New Year's. Then, January, we have our first Patreon backers show.
We do.
Yeah, our good friend Sam on Twitter. Jackson, what's Sam's Twitter handle?
At Samuel Howitt.
Okay, thank you. I did not know, and I didn't have the top of my head. Has pledged enough to come on the show, and we are going to talk about Shadow of the Colossus. Just in time for it to be released again, which we're not going to. We're going to be playing the PS3 versions. At least me and Jackson. I don't know what Sam's playing, but
I mean,
please look forward to that.
Sam will be playing the PS3 version. PS4 one's not out. No one's playing their PS2.
No. I mean, some people might be playing their PS2.
I guess of all the people who would be playing their PS2, it'd be Sam.
Yeah. So please look forward to us talking about Shadow of the Colossus. This is a game that I think someone suggested us play a long time ago also, and we've never got to it.
We've had a couple suggestions for this. It is a very popular, beloved game in certain circles. I've never touched it. I'm very interested to see how I react to it.
I don't like it, but I'm hoping I might change my mind this time.
We'll see.
I have not played it in several years, and I'm a much different person than I was last time.
Our plan is to play the game, but we are also going to we don't know how much, but Heather Alexander, a friend of the site, has done a Let's Play of this that is apparently very good, that I'm also going to hopefully watch at least a little of. So if you don't want to play Shadow of the Colossus and want some context, that's where I'd recommend getting it.
Yep. Her videos are, this is back when she was just coming off of like school, so it is the most academic read on Shadow of the Colossus. It's really good. I like it a lot. Heather is good people. I like all of her work, so please enjoy that. And I think that's it. Jackson, give us the plugs.
Okay, take a breath. Plug zone time. Okay, you can find everything we do at abnormalmapping.com. There are a bunch of podcasts there, including Second Officer Slog at StarTrekPodcast.space. That is a Star Trek podcast where we read Star Trek books and also, watch the occasional Star Trek episode. We follow along with Discovery. We're going to be watching the Prime movies at some point in the, we've been saying that, but we are bound to television schedules, and they are coming up faster than we thought. Discovery's coming back in a month. We're all ready. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. It has been rude to have the last few Sundays without Star Trek. How have they done this to me? Why? We also have Novel Not New, which is a new podcast on the network. It is hosted by friend of the... No, fuck, not friend of the... Shit! Why am I so terrible at this? We also have Novel Not New, which is Jen, Colin, and Em talking about visual novels. It is a good podcast. You should listen to it. I actually haven't yet because I'm a bad friend and I suck. But I will be.
You do.
I will.
You are both a bad friend and you suck.
Thank you. I will be listening to that very soon. It is good, and you should make sure to maybe check out some of the games if you want to. Next month they are going to be reading Narcissu, which is a free visual novel if you want to read along with that. I do the Amory score at ineedmayo.com with Molly. We fucking ruin our lives and read Coheed and Cambria comics. It's the whole thing. This Thursday, which will be the day before this podcast drops, we will have just finished the comic for In Keeping Secrets of Silent Earth 3. There's still a little bit of the album left, but the comic will be done, and please enjoy the bullshit that happens in the final issue. We're gonna regale you a tale of, Wilhelm Ryan.
Swords and Swords.
We also have Fireside Friends, which is Ryan and Alan's podcast. It is switching to a monthly schedule, as it's hard to do a lot of podcasts, but that is a good show that you should listen to. And yeah, that is at firesidefriends.net. Go check that out. I'm at Twitter on Headphones Off. Oh, this is one of my roughest plug zones. I'm veteran plug zones. Sometimes you don't have them, but I did my best. I'm on Twitter.
I mean, look, Jackson can just go and edit in a new plug zone if they're unhappy with this because they're editing this. So maybe it'll be fine. You won't even know.
Well, maybe. There's no way to know. Maybe that was the edited one, and it was terrible.
Yeah. God, if you make an edited one worse than the one you just did, then delete yourself.
Rip me.
We have one more podcast. It is the Great Gundam Project. We do this every week. Me and Jackson watch 2 episodes of Gundam and talk about it. You can get that at patreon.com/normalmapping for $1 a month. It's a great show. We're coming up on the end of Mobile Suit Gundam. We'll be starting Zeta immediately afterwards. Looking forward to it. I love Gundam. I love talking about Gundam. I enjoy Gundam more now that we do a podcast about it than I ever did just watching it on my own. So please check that out. I am on Twitter at em_being. I'm playing Dark Souls 2 on the YouTube channel whenever I can. Not every day and not like at a set schedule, but I'm playing it. It's blind. I've never played Dark Souls, period. I played Bloodborne, but that doesn't count. And so if you want to watch me wander around and like die, please enjoy those YouTube videos because I do that. I wander around and I die.
Apparently I'm at fault for this.
Are you?
Yeah, because I told you about Life Gem.
Oh, yes. The first time I died is because of Jackson. After that, I like fall down a pit and die. That's on me. So, whatever. So yeah, enjoy those things. Come back in 2 weeks for the end of the year, and please enjoy video games now that everyone's done catching up on Game of the Year because those things are coming out. Anyone who doesn't say Zelda is the best game of 2017 is a cop. That's my take.
I'm about to play. I'm not in time for our episode because that's tomorrow, but I'm about to play Zelda. That is what I'm doing.
Yep. I don't think you'll like it as much as me, but I hope you enjoy it.
I'm very excited. I hope I love that game, but I don't know. It's been sold to me in a big way.
Yep. Anyway, that's it. We're done. Go home. Hug your loved ones. No. Enjoy the holidays if you enjoy the holidays. Don't die on ice.
I'm gonna die on ice.
That's all I've got. Okay, you're not gonna hug anyone. You're gonna die on ice. That's Jackson.